So this is a video to help us to learn more about Camp Koinonia. I'm here with their new director, Kathleen, Ruen, and we're so happy to hear that Koinonia is up and running again. So I have a history with Koinonia since I've been a pastor. I wasn't raised Lutheran, but as a pastor, I've been there many times, especially with my kids. So when my kids were little, my kids are 18 and 21. When they were little, we would go up to the family camp just about every summer. We'd spend a week with family camp. And also our conference, which is Westchester County and Putnam County, we went up for many years for confirmation retreats. And my family as a group, we went to, I think, a Thanksgiving retreat and an Advent retreat. And our conference clergy have gone up for clergy retreats as well. So it's a beloved and familiar place to me. The congregation that I'm at now, St. Paul's, doesn't have any recent memory of going there. So St. Paul's is in Westchester County. We just had our 150th anniversary 3 years ago.
Oh, congratulations.
So that's a long history, but it's also a newer facility. The building is 50 years old. So it's nice to have that history, and it's also nice to have a building that doesn't need too much restoration. So it's an active congregation. It's diverse in age. It's diverse in backgrounds. I would say that we kind of have a spirit here of inclusion and acceptance. And so Kathleen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe?
Oh, sure. Happy to. And I just want to say hello to everyone and the congregation and anyone listening to this video. It's an honor to have this conversation with you, Pastor O'Hanlon, and to hear about your relationship with Koinonia and the church's relationship, and also to see how we can collaborate and join together in the future. So as I was listening to your story, Jim, I thought a lot about my own connection with Koinonia too. So my first experience was as a staff member. I was hired in the early 90s under one of the directors, Jeff Barrow, and worked 3 summers and then half of a year round. So it was a really important, transformative experience in my own faith life and my career and my service. And similar to you, I come back with my family, renting out one of the 2 family cabins, come with my congregation. A couple of years ago, we bought a second home near the camp, partly because I really love the area, and then almost 2 years ago, there was, as Koinonia was coming back, I was on the board, and I started to feel a call be a leader at the camp as the executive director. So it has been transformative for me, and I've been so in awe of what has happened so far. And that is due to very generous donors, incredible volunteers, hardworking staff, and a board that's really energetic and really wanting to make Koinonia not only come back, but to become something we've never imagined before. And Koinonia is always a wonderful place to rest, a place to connect with other people, to be fed food and also fed spiritually, and to have these experiences where you're open to your life changing and moving into another direction. So
you come from Metro New York? You have a home congregation here?
I do, yes. I live in Harlem, and I guess I like driving because my congregation is in Brooklyn, Park Slope, and with Pastor David Parsons.
Oh, okay.
So we've gone up as a church together, and I've been involved in the church for a long time too, primarily with the children. I led the children's choir at the church for many years.
Did you grow up in that congregation?
No. My history is that I came to the South Bronx. My dad's a Lutheran minister, and so my first experience with New York City was in the South Bronx, living at St. Peter's Church in the Bronx. Then we moved to the Midwest, outside of Milwaukee. So there was a church there, and then I came back to the area to get my degree in education, and so my church has been back in the city. So
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Um, what's what is your dad doing today? Is your dad still with us?
he is. Yes, thank God. Yes, he's still
Mhm.
with us. He's after he was a Lutheran minister, he became an executive director of a foundation in Milwaukee and worked there for a time. He's done a lot of supply pastor work. I think he's retired now. I think he
Mhm.
just turned. I think he just turned 80,
Oh
and
wow.
but he got a lot of energy. So he's working with some nonprofits in Milwaukee. Always, his mission was always to work with urban youth, and particularly young men who had been incarcerated and helping that transition for them from juvenile detention coming back into into the world. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
an inspiration for sure for me.
Very nice. Very good. So for people who've never been to Koinonia, how do you kind of give them an introduction?
Ooh, well, yes, thank you. So yeah, Koinonia has almost 1,200 acres of wild land. So it's a mix of wilderness where you can hike. It has about a mile-long lake that's totally enclosed by our property. So it's a private lake. There's boating in the summer. There's swimming, and so you've got this beautiful wild, untamed landscape. And then you also have some wonderful retreat buildings. So we have four operating retreat buildings right now, some that have bunk beds in them. So they're great for youth or for a family group. And then we have a small retreat building called the Osdale House, and that has 8 beds with linens. And so that's sort of, more comfortable family retreat center. And then our biggest retreat center is called the Conference Center, and that's where we'll take really good care of you. It's got 20 rooms,
Mhm.
hotel kind of, hotel motel type rooms with two a twin and a queen bed in each room, your own private bath, and then we provide food service 3 times a day. And if you'd like, we can give you programming like going on a hayride or
Mhm.
campfire to say like evening worship. So those are kind of the basic things we offer. In the summer, we have a campground that we're still in process of getting it up to code, but there's 12 sites on that campground now that you can tent or bring an RV to, and we have water to that site too. So
Mhm.
next summer we'll open that up again for the summer for outdoor camping.
Yeah. So the recent history has been a lot of challenges and a lot of catastrophes, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, Koinonia has been around since 1963, and it's owned by now I think 55 congregations who are, member congregations who are part of the members of the camp and, vote every year on what we're doing. And they're from New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. And I think from the beginning, Koinonia has had good years, like ups, like things have been going really great, and really tough years. So the past 3 years, I think, I think Koinonia had real difficulty because because of it's a very humid area, and the buildings, I don't think they need to be dehumidified constantly. And I think even with that, they started to get mold. And so mold was discovered and the whole camp had to shut
Mhm.
down in the August of 2018. So
Mhm.
that was before COVID even, we were
Yeah,
shut.
yeah.
So,
And then the
so,
trail building, you had just done
and
some work
then,
on the trail
yes, and then
building.
before that, the trail building burned down. I think that
Mhm.
winter, it might have been around February
Yeah.
of that previous year. So, you
That's
know,
where we used to go with the confirmation students. We used to use the trail
oh,
building.
yes, it's a perfect place for youth, and that's something we're really thinking through. We have been able to have more beds to code in the lakeside, which is right by the water. So now I
Mhm.
think we can get up to 18 people in the lakeside, so that it might be an alternative for a youth group. That was also a huge loss. Plus, it's
Yeah,
historically it was like a centerpiece of the youth programming.
yeah.
I know over time more and more people will hear about Koinonia and be so happy to return. And people have never heard about it. Like many in your congregation, I hope that they will take the chance and come and
Mhm.
see what Koinonia can do for them too. If you just have a family that wants to come up for a weekend, we've got some program weekends coming up. We've Thanksgiving, so if if an individual or family want to come up and not have to cook the meal, we've got 2 nights in the conference center or in the outbuildings, and we're cooking a really nice meal and have some great programming. And then Koinonia used to have Advents, so every Advent weekend they had programming, and people would come and get ready for the Christmas season. And so that is starting up again too. So
Wonderful.
Those could be, if they check, you check our website, there's still availability for some of those dates. If that might be a way to get a taste of it. And and then
those begin on Friday nights.
Yep. Except for Thanksgiving, Friday evenings, and then they go through Sunday. So it's
Do you still have the farm animals?
No, not yet. But one of our new retreat director, his wife is a zookeeper. So that is, and she's been very interested in the farm. I think they've already got the chicken coop ready for chickens. And I trust that in time we will be able to bring some animals back. Yeah, but at this point, that's another area that needs work. Yeah.
And you have a retreat director.
Yes. Matt, his name is Matt Baumhart, and he's worked in Lutheran Outdoor Ministry in camping for over 15 years. He worked at a camp in Texas, and he was able to do some amazing things there, and knows all the details of camping, and is also just like a gentle mountain man. He grows his hair, I think every 18 months, and then donates it to people who need wigs for for cancer. So he's just been a wonderful addition to the camp. He and his wife, and he has a young daughter named Emery, who's 6 years old. And they're a blessing. And we also have working in our office, Jean Sandberg, and she used to be on staff many years ago and has been living in the area. She started volunteering, helping me out in the spring, and has been invaluable. And so she works part-time and helps with bookings and setting up retreats and so forth.
Is there Sunday worship going on?
Yes, one of my commitments as the executive director was to provide Sunday worship as much as possible. We live stream worship almost every Sunday through our Facebook site. And so that's been I think it's one of our ways of doing ministry, to the wider community, because anybody can go and listen to a worship. And when we have worship outdoors at the Pines, it's just a beautiful place to watch and worship together.
Okay, very good. Well, I thank you very much for your time with us, and I wish you well, and we're going to keep you in our prayers that you have a good time there, and that things build from here, and after a lot of difficulty, that there'll be strength and there'll be lessons from those difficulties that will carry us forward in the future.
Amen. I agree. Yes, thank you, and thank you for your prayers, and I and Koinonia pray for you and all our congregations. We know that this is a time of change, a time of transformation, and that's not always easy. And if there's anything that Koinonia can do for you and other congregations, we want to do that. So we want to offer like pastor retreats and ways for for deacons and pastors to recharge, so they can come back refreshed for the really important work you have. People have other questions, they can email me. My contact information is on our website, and we have a Facebook page and also Instagram. So and I'm happy to come visit you when that would be a good time to come to your congregation myself.
That would be great.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. God bless you.